I forgot. All right, quick check. Add that song.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot something else. Jeez. God, another. This is more about me cursing myself out, but that's okay. All right.
Hi, Drew. Oh, John, we have live listeners on YouTube, so every once in a while we'll pop in and say so and so over in the live chat, assuming they have questions or something.
Sounds good.
Sorry.
Oh, and if you want to join the chat, you can go to the live page here, which of course it has a really old episode listed as in the preview, but it's the right link. Trust me. Just make sure to at least mute the audio and pause the video. So.
Well, you can mute the audio.
You could just pop out the chat if you look in the chat square. There's the 3-dot menu button.
Yep.
If you click on that, it'll say pop out chat.
Pop it out.
Oh wait, I'm gonna change this. Which reminds me, this up. Well, there's times when you think you remembered everything, but you totally forgot.
Oh, shit. Oh, good. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, just hitting wrong things and.
I know the feeling. I've got a lot of things I need to handle.
Yes.
All right, I think I'm ready now. Oh, hold on.
One more thing. One more thing.
Yeah. Another thing, John. There's other places that are highlighted in the doc. Did you take a look at all those?
Yep.
Okay. And in the what's going on segment at the beginning, it says something happened in your life in the recent past. Is that actually the title of what you're talking about?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, just want to make sure. It's like, did you miss that? Maybe. Okay, just checking. But the links look fine. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. That works.
Okay. The other pics I have the little like PSD sort of thing that I'm just fixing for you. There we go. That looks better. Okay, cool. All right, let's do this, son bitch.
Rightio.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2. It's Sunday, June 10th, 2018. I'm Jeff.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
Good.
I am Chester.
This room is a pigsty, and you're a dirty pig boy.
And that makes me Gary.
Don't hurt nobody with your bad self.
And welcome to Comes Out Loud, the Bear Podcast of Indeterminate Length, episode number 468. And we have a guest with us. It's Jon, Mr. Chicago Cub, which we'll be talking about in the main portion of our show. How you doing today, Jon?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Yay.
And so, well, then we'll ask you this. So guess first, Jon, what's been going on?
So yesterday was my birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday!
Thank you. So I produce, so we'll talk about it more later, but produce drag shows in the city, in Chicago. And so I had a big birthday bash with 12 guests. It ended up going like 2.5 hours almost. It was long. But it was packed.
Question.
Yeah.
Did it start on time?
It may have started 15 minutes late.
Oh,
But
it was on time. We're talking gay time here, right?
That's good for drag time. I mean, let's be right. It was a great time. It was so much fun, so many people, not too much craziness, so it was fantastic.
Yay! And we'll probably be talking some more a little later, if that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've been bored at work, which is a good thing, bad thing, and a thing, because it was busy, but there were times when I got bored. And so what do I do? Because I'm on the phones and such, and so I don't have any calls, but there's not really any busy work to do, really. So I popped onto the Zazzle store and made a couple other items. They haven't quite gotten up onto the store. I mean, we got our brand spanking new Proud Out Loud shirt that you know that one. But I also ran into soup and chili mugs. And so eventually they'll actually show up in the store. I don't know why it takes so long for it to actually appear, get a notification saying, hey, your items have been posted, and they're not there yet. And also, I don't have one nearby, but you know those like bottle openers, which are just like a thing of metal with maybe some rubber wrapped around it for grip, and it has like a hole in one end, and then just the other you go to a bottle on with. I made one of those. So watch for those in the store. They're not there quite yet, but yeah. So I got bored and didn't feel like I had time to work any of the emails, so I made new COL products of like the random sort. For the soup mug, I said not for sipping tea. I mean, I suppose you could, but it's a big thing. It's meant to be like a bowl of soup with a handle. Sam.
When you've got a lot of tea to spill.
Just use a picture for that. Anyways, Damon?
I am ready for my vacation. So I'm just going to put it out there to the universe. I've got a week and 2 days before I fly out to Vegas. And I just want to go. Like, I'm ready now. Well, not ready. I need to pack. But other than that, like, it's just going to be month through thing. I know I have a concert, and I know that's important, and yada, 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 yada. But right now, I'm ready to get to Vegas and celebrate and have fun and get away from some of the stress and what have you in my life. So here we go. And also, kudos or thanks to Drew, who has been sending me suggestions this morning about places to go when we get there. I am definitely going to be looking into them. The Egg Slut place sounds particularly interesting. So, we're gonna try it. I want to at least try that. We've got 7 days there, but like 1 day, 2 days are flying, so we'll have time to check out several places. Yay. Chester?
I do not envy Gary one bit when it comes to event organization. Because I've been putting on stuff for the Cub Club, and when things come together, it's great, but most of the time there's lots of hiccups, and particularly with people saying, hey, this sounds great, I'm going to show up. So then I contact the place that I'm looking at doing something at, and they're like, yeah, we need X amount of people to sign up.
Oh.
So then I've got, this group of people over here saying, yes, I want to do it, and I meet that goal, but when it comes down to it, I know for a damn fact I'm not, those people that say they're going to do it aren't actually going to be there. So, like, today I scheduled a group meetup at the bathhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first pitched the idea, there was like 30 people that said, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, I'd love to come. But then only like 6 of those 30 were actually there or responded saying that they were going to be there or not. And then the other ones didn't even bother to reply. So it's really difficult to try and gauge people's behavior, or if they're actually going to come through when they say that they're going to. And the last thing that I scheduled, it's not going to be for a couple weeks, but I found a boutique confectionery here in Columbus, and they're going to close their store down at the end of the night. Well, it's after hours, so they're going to be closed anyway. But they're giving us a private taste testing of some of their goods. And they're like, yeah, this is how much it's going to be per person. And this is how many people you need to fill if we're going to make this happen. And I'm like, I don't know if I can get 12 people on board with spending $40. So,
yeah.
I've got 8 people that are like, hell yeah, I want to do it. And thankfully, I've set up a Eventbrite so that I'm not out any money, because that's like my biggest fear is me going to them, putting the down payment down, and then people not paying me back. So I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna do it all through Eventbrite, and then I don't have to mess with it. And thankfully, people have been buying the tickets, so I don't think it's gonna be a problem. But yeah, that's been my week.
You hit one of the things I always have heard about any kind of event, whether it's orgy or a party or anything like that. You're in that 20 to 25% of the people that actually say they're gonna come usually are the ones that come. So you said there were 30 and you got 6. That's 20%.
Well, there were 30 people that said that they would be interested in an event like this.
Mm-hmm.
So when I created the event on Facebook, there's like 140 people in this group. Only about 40 of the people said, I am either coming or not coming, or it's a maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I took the maybes as that's a no.
Yeah.
The people that said yes, I looked at the list and I'm like, okay, out of you 20 people that said yes, I'm going to say 12 of you are actually going to show up. And we ended up having 13 people total at the bat today. 10 people from the list that actually said that they would be there. The other 3 did not give a response, or they said maybe and changed their mind at the last moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, yay. So there you go.
Gary?
Yeah, this past week's been kind of rough. Just dealing with a lot of personal stuff, so I'm pursuing some new things for me, trying to find balance. Because I'm kind of at a crossroads in my life, need to make some decisions about where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do next. So, yeah, we'll kind of see where it goes, you know?
Mm-hmm. Finding balance is hard.
Yeah, I've thought delusionally for quite some time that I had grasp on a lot of things, and then I was kind of like, no, not really, and so I've been focusing more on some personal stuff, and it's probably not going to be an enjoyable time, but it'll be all right in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So, before we get into the next part here, we do always want to mention about the ways that you can support us. Here it comes out loud. And that, one of them is, of course, our store on Zazzle, which, as I said, doesn't quite have the new products up yet. But we do have our Bear Run stuff, which, by the way, Ray Smith, Mr. Brute Black something, I forgot what location it was. You Damon?
He's GLLA Boot Black.
Thank you.
2017.
Is it 2017? I thought you got it this year.
Maybe he did.
Anyway,
moving on.
So we got, of course, our Proud Out Loud shirt, our Bear Run stuff, and a whole bunch of Drag Race stuff. Don't forget that. We still have our Seal Drag Race stuff. And, of course, our Smashing Collection stuff. And soon to be comes out loud soup bowls and chili bowls, with the handle kind of like a really, really wide mug. And the speed bottle opener because, Jeff gets bored. And, of course, we also have our Patreon, where we've got 4 different amazing levels. And again, this is thresholds, so anything above each of those, you get whatever it is. So 4 different levels to choose from. And we're right here on Patreon, so it's a nice, quick way to do it. You could also as a patron, you get access to the COL Mega Feed, which has the pre and post shows of this show. You get the show a day early, as well as getting one feed for both COL and COL Drag Race. So those are some of the benefits. And we still have to figure out the hangout for this month. But that's another matter altogether. Oh, by the way, one thing we've got last week, thank you, patrons. We got paid at the beginning of the month. So I forgot to mention that last month. So I appreciate that. Anyways, let's move right into this. To speed things along, we're popping right to Chester with Twitter and Tumblr.
It's been slow. We have 3 new Twitter followers. Gamer Redefined, ACF003, and David Cubster. And then over on Tumblr, we have 2. Zodiac4M and Cub Roach.
Interesting.
Welcome. Hope you're enjoying the show. And that being our fastest intro series, let's talk about Jon. This cutie little over down here. If I'm looking in the right direction. I keep forgetting how it should. This way. It's right there.
Oh, God.
I gotta look at the screen to determine where my hands are pointing. Anyways, he's below Damon to the side of Chester.
I really enjoyed your little Vogue dance there, Jon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Does that come from all your experience in the ball scene?
Oh, yeah. Yes, my extended ball experience. Oh, I'm sorry, the other kind of ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have much experience there.
Balls.
Exactly. You got it. See, you got it.
Marbles.
Anyways, I don't know how to begin this part because I didn't arrange this. So, hand it off, Chester.
Okay. So I was scrolling through Tumblr as one does when they're bored, and I came across your picture, and I was like, "Oh, this is a handsome gentleman." And the text in the post said something about you recently winning Mr. Chicago Cub 2018, which I believe happened over Bearfest weekend, whatever that is, because is that a new thing?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
assuming it's like Bear Pride Light.
Very much so. When the Great Lakes Bears decided they didn't want to host Bear Pride anymore, the bar owners in the area still wanted to have an event for the Bears over IML weekend, International Mr. Leather weekend, and so Hamburger Mary's, the Call, and Touche all got together and created Bearfest. This is year 2 of it, so it's still very much in its infancy, but they've had different events at each of those places.
Okay.
So that there's still bear-focused events happening that weekend.
But it is a weekend-long thing. There's just no organized like hotel and registration and things like that. It's just hey, come invade these bars.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's not like a big official bear run. There are talks of expanding. I'm not privy to those talks, so I just hear what I hear. But as of right now, yeah, no, they didn't want to pick a official host hotel, but they gave at least recommendations in the neighborhood Andersonville where most of these bars are at, or Touche is close to, for people to check out.
Oh, that's cool. So yeah, I found this post, did some digging, found a site to Chicago Bearfest Facebook page, and that's where I found your picture. And I was like, oh, I didn't know this is a thing. Apparently this is. So I sent a message to you, I think was it on Tumblr? Mm-hmm. And said, hey, we do this podcast. Do you want to come on here and do an interview? And, well, here you are.
Surprise!
Okay, so first off, what kind of contest is this? And I'm just gonna put it in, layman's terms. To me, there's 2 types of contests. There's a beauty contest, and then there's like a leather contest style where they ask you questions and your point of views, and
if you could save one thing in the world, what would it be and why?
World peace.
Yeah, it's not a hunt. So it's officially a bar title. It's not a state or national recognized title.
Okay.
But it's a combination of the two. In my personal opinion, I know that they say that the looks are the last thing they're looking at, but if that was true, we wouldn't be standing there in our jock straps.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, I mean, that's cute. That's cute and everything, but let's be clear what we're really doing here.
It's funny that you touched on that because I think it was this past week that the Miss Universe contest, I think it was Miss Universe, they are doing away with the swimsuit portion of that contest. And I had made a comment on my own Facebook where I linked that, and I said, I wonder if leather contests will now finally get rid of the jockstrap portion of their contest.
Not happening. I don't see that happening at all.
I appreciate that part of it, but I don't think it needs to be touched.
Yeah, well, especially with leather and that event being so much about kink and sexuality, I don't see that going away at all. I think that's awesome for the Ms. Universe title to actually do that. I don't see that for IML.
Okay.
But yeah, for Chicago Cub, like we did have a couple of different outfits we had to wear, and they did ask us a question. Mine was more about what do I say to someone that essentially frowns upon femme guys, when who wants someone who wants more just the masculine.
Mask for mask.
You got it. So it was actually a really cool question. And then at least for me, it connected to a friend of mine that I met at IML that when he found out that I was a drag queen as well, kind of started pulling away and, not interested in that.
Shit.
That story ends up having a happy ending that we now are best friends, and he understands that for at least that for me is a character. It's not my kink. So he came around to it and came to the realization that he was being really closed-minded, and that who cares if you're masculine, if you're feminine, just be proud in who you are and be you.
That right there.
I think a lot of that just has to do with education and being open-minded, because I know when I was younger and I started going out into gay bars when I was 19, 20 and seeing drag queens. I dated a drag queen once. That was interesting. And I was very closed-minded. I'm like, nope, you are way too feminine for my taste. I will admit, I was one of those people that said, that guy's really cute until he opens his mouth and a purse falls out. And now, years later, I realize, you know what? That's kind of a shitty thing to have said. And I can't go back and take it. I can't go back in time and take those phrases back. But at least now I know better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's okay to have preferences, and to want maybe someone that is more masculine than feminine. That's okay, as long as it's not putting down those that are feminine. That if you say, you know what, hey, you're being you, you're fantastic. I may not be attracted to you, but that's okay. I say that in a more positive light.
I think the more that people get alienated from certain groups, or alienated because they are a certain way, the more the empathy that they can put forward when they see it happen to other people in different respects. Like, it irritates the hell out of me when I'm on Tumblr or Facebook or something like that, and you see a post of like bear starter pack, and it'll be like a picture of a t-shirt with a bear pun on there, and like cargo shorts and septum ring and mohawk, and I'm like, Great. So you're making fun of people that follow trends. Good for you.
Right.
Yeah, it's just. So what was your weekend like during the run? I know that in the Leather Circle, when it is a title run weekend, and usually this is more about city or regional runs. Those contestants are run ragged. What was it like for you during that weekend?
Oh, nothing to that extreme at all. It's literally a one night thing. The contest itself, um, I went to all of Bear Fest over the weekend, which was fun. Like Sunday night, I hosted a party, but the actual contest itself, it was only Saturday night. We did our 3 looks, our question, got votes from the audience, and that just all in that couple of hours, and that's just all it was. It's way not as extensive as, the IML contestants going to interviews one day, and then they've packed some personality, none of that. This was more fun. There was 4 of us, two bears, 2 cubs. So it's run a little differently than a lot of bear contests are. And we just had a good time. Good. It was great.
So 2 bears, 2 cubs. Is it just one overall winner, or is there 1 bear, 1 cub?
There's 1 bear, 1 cub.
Okay.
And you can pretty much signify whichever one you want. I view cubs as being a little less dominant, more fun. I'm not quite as hairy. So a little playful, I guess. So I view myself more in the cub range than I do a bear, even though I was the second oldest. But still there was two guys who chose bear, 2 for us for cub. So I have a Mr. Chicago Bear, boy Gregory, which yet again, that doesn't make sense.
So he is a leather boy, but took the bear title. Was that what you were saying?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Each their own, I always say.
Yeah, I have a when it comes to the bear community, I don't care if you label yourself as a bear or an otter or a cub or whatever, as long as you understand the idea behind what a bear is and the drive of why bear as a subculture in the gay community is a thing. That's all I really care about.
Totally.
So if you're 110 pounds and you're hairy and you want to say you're a bear, well then go right ahead. I'm not going to challenge you.
Right. No, I totally agree. I mean, it's so much about body positivity, which I get so much from my drag and trying to implement in my boy life. But I know with most bear contests, from what I've learned, the winner is usually the bear and the runner-up is the cub. But yeah, that's not in this contest. There's 2 winners.
Right. North American Bear does a system like that. They have 5 titles, and first place is bear. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, Damon and Gary, but cub is second place.
No.
Or do they get to choose that name?
Yeah, it's based on the other 4 titles are chosen by the judges based on the
what they think they fit into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Character. Yeah. So 5th place is not going to be bear, but he chose admirer and daddy bear.
Right.
We feel he fits more into daddy bear, so daddy
first
bear.
place is always bear.
Yeah.
And then so how well did you, obviously you won, so you must have done well. How well did you do compared to what you thought you did?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for me running for this, I was there for the first one last year, and I'm like, you know what, I should do it. I'm, really on this. I don't want to call it self discovery. That sounds so cheesy, but really bettering myself and pushing myself, getting myself out of my comfort zone, and me being out in front of people and having them judge me is kind of pushing myself out of my comfort zone. So I just doing it was a win in itself for me. So then to come and win the title and just have a really great response from the audience on my question, and people who I've never spoken to at least appreciate what I look like, which is nice. It's not everything, of course, but that was nice.
Yeah.
It was a huge confidence builder for me, and now I can use the title and really make it whatever I want it to be. So I'm excited that myself. There was a 2017 Cub, but he wasn't really involved. It was kind of a one night thing that was great for him, and then didn't really do anything with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm excited to actually make it something and put a stamp on it.
So I have two things. The first one is I believe that anybody running for a contest should have that kind of attitude going into it. I am doing this for me. It's for fun to see if I can do it. If I win, great. But if I don't win, at least I can say I tried. I think that's a good attitude for anyone to have when they enter a contest. But the other thing is, so I'm assuming that because you win the title, you don't have any requirements that need to be filled?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, pretty much just represent the bar. That's pretty much it.
Are you going to establish any for yourself?
Absolutely. One of my drag shows that I produce in Chicago is called Elegant Fur. It's an all bearded drag troupe.
Okay, I'm gonna is this on Facebook? I want to check it out.
Yeah, Elegant Fur. And every show we do, which we do for a year, basically quarterly, and we raise money for charity. Our July show, July 14th, is for a team here in Chicago for Ride for AIDS Chicago that we're raising money for. So I want to bring part of that into my title, into bringing that element of charity, because I think, in my personal view, is all of us should do something. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be financial. If you can't do financial, I get that. Be an ear, be a volunteer. If you can give money if that's what you're comfortable with. I think it's all of our jobs to help those beneath us. Oh, that's a bad way of saying it. That's not what I mean. But
less fortunate.
Thank you, and to lift other people up. Wow, terrible use of words.
It's okay.
Yikes.
You'll get better in interviews, honey.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, no, I think it's our job to lift each other up. So I'm definitely bringing that level of attitude and commitment to my title, and just frankly just being present, and focusing on body positivity. There's definitely such a stigma in the gay community of what the right body is and what the appropriate body is, and it's spread too far into the bear community, in my opinion, that we need to bring back the body positivity.
I will agree. I've never been one to suffer from body image issues myself, thankfully. I've always accepted the fact that I am a bigger person. I'm okay with that. Doesn't bother me. I know why I am this way. Today at the bathhouse, I was in the steam room with another person of mine, another friend of mine. There were two other gentlemen in there. He walked out, and the other two gentlemen, the way the room is set up, where they were standing, they seen him walk out. And I heard one of them say something like, "What's with all the 300-pound guys being here today?" There was like 13 of us. I was like, I was really close to saying something, and I just bit my tongue because I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
As we were getting ready to leave, and I was up at the counter talking with one of the employees. I actually use the gym at the bathhouse, so all the employees know me by name. And I was chatting with one of them, and he's like, or I said something like, how are you guys doing with with all these extra people being here today? And he's like, oh yeah, we're keeping up, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, we've only had one complaint about you guys being here. And I'm like, why would somebody complain that we're here? And he's like, oh, I don't know. This one guy, and he described him, and I knew exactly who he was talking about. It was this older 60s-ish guy who obviously works out. He tans. David wants to say something.
No, I'm just like, I totally agree with you. Why is someone complaining about someone else being at a bath?
Right.
Like
so,
it's open to all gay people. So as long as
we all got there at 11 o'clock. And I don't remember seeing this guy until about 1-ish. And this is now 3 towards the end of when we were all leaving. But the employee said, oh yeah, he came up to the counter. He says, I don't want to sound mean, but the other guy behind the counter, he's an African-American gentleman. And I'm like, you know exactly what he's going to say right after that. It's something asshole-ish, right? And the guy's like, well, yeah, exactly. Because he's like, what's with all the fat guys here today? And I was just like, oh, well.
How do I? Never mind. I'm just going to.
If we weren't here, we wouldn't be hooking up with anybody else, apparently. So it shouldn't matter. And it's not like we were like taking over spaces or anything. Most of us were either hanging out in the pool or off to the side in like the lounge chairs. It's not like we were taking up any other spaces.
And yeah, it's a public place or private public place where everyone
like
can
we're
go.
paid to be there.
So,
oh Lord!
Shut your mouth or get out. You can leave.
So do you have any plans to take this title higher? So this was a bar title, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Correct. So your options from here are Chicago or Illinois, or you've got, I believe, Great Lakes, or maybe it's Midwest Plains. I don't know. I don't even know if there are bear titles for that.
I know that Mr. Illinois Bear is in Chicago. That happened, I want to say March.
Is it Brandon Gentry? Is he Mr. Illinois Bear? I know he has a title out of Chicago or Illinois or something. I just don't remember what.
Right. He's not the current Illinois Bear. And of course I'm gonna be awful and forget who is because I can picture him, but I can't remember his name.
I'll put you on the spot, so that's okay. You were prepared.
Was not, should have been. But Belladonna is Ms. Illinois Bear.
Okay.
And then I know Mr. Illinois Bear from last year is Mr. North American Bear right now.
Okay.
But to get back to answer your question, yeah, the competition bug has definitely bit, and I'm definitely itching to do it again. Hey, crown it. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, that's the queen coming out. Because I've competed as Anita, my alter ego, Anita John, and I've come in second a lot.
Aww.
Okay, so Does that mean that you are considering running for North American Bear come February? Oh, I think
Did we
he
lose
like
him?
locked up.
Oh no, he's frozen.
Jon, come back.
Give me 1 second. Oh,
Oh, let's.
Aw.
there he goes.
He said, "Crowd it and fuck you, bitches." And then gone he went.
Bye. I gotta go. God damn it. I work for an IT
Yay,
company too.
Stay.
Success! I'm sorry.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
We have this nice little sassy, like side-eyed look when you froze, so I think it was very appropriate.
Well, I
So-
mean, yeah. What? So
The last thing that we heard you say was that you have been competing as Anita, and you come in second place a lot.
yes, too many times. She needs to get crowned. And I know this all sounds so egotistical. I don't mean it in that way. But and then yeah, I definitely am going to be going to a bunch of bear events this year and see what title events are like and meeting more title holders. As I've definitely been to leather events a lot, and am friends with a lot of the Mr. Chicago leathers, but not necessarily on the bear side.
Okay.
Because the Chicago bear scene is very small, and we don't really have. Great Lakes Bears have decreased what they do as an organization. I'm not sure why. This is purely viewing from the outside. So our community is not, I don't think, as strong. So that's why I'm going to go to events and see what it's like and meet title holders and see what's going to happen next year. I know I'm going to, as long as I can, go for Mr. Illinois Bear, I believe. That's my plan as of right now. And we'll see what happens from there.
It's interesting that you say the Chicago bear scene is small, because I know two different pockets of Chicago bears, and you're the first. This is the first time you've come on my radar. I'm sure if I said some names, you would probably be like, "Oh yeah, I know that person and that person," and "Oh, he's friends with this person of mine." So yeah, that's I find that interesting, but I guess if I take a step back and look at it, I don't have very many leather friends in Chicago. They are strictly bear, and they're on like the periphery of leather and kink. That could be why.
And I think that there are strong pockets around, but not a full community in general.
Gotcha.
Because, and this is purely looking from the outside, is I see groups that, whether it's some people I follow on Instagram or whatnot, that there are groups that go out and are together all the time and all this kind of stuff, but not necessarily like the bear contingency coming together and being united in a community, and whether it's having events or raising money or whatever, like that doesn't necessarily happen as much.
Yeah.
So I think you may have got disconnected when I asked this. Plans for running for North American Bear?
Possibly. I honestly will fully admit my ignorance that I don't know much about it yet.
Well, I'll send you some info.
Nice.
Please do. Yeah, that a big part of this is me just learning what the community is actually like, and what these titles mean, and who has them. It's a big. I'm not behind the eight ball. I am definitely behind in my knowledge set of this. So I'm ramping up as fast as I can.
Don't quote me on this. You would definitely have to look at the registration rules themselves, but I believe with North American Bear, you are allowed to compete for the title if you have won a title within the last 2 years. 3 years. Okay, well then you're safe. If you decide that you want to attend NAB in February 2019 and then compete in 2012, you should be good within that time frame. North American Bear is a very fun run because it is a contestant run, and it is very much influenced by the leather scene. So, and they do have lots of events that may very well be of interest to you. Like they have a Bearded Beauties drag show. Is it actually a drag show? I don't know. I've never actually watched it. Yes. Well, I'm usually busy, so I never get a chance to actually watch the show. But this past year, I photographed the beauties before they went on stage.
Gotcha.
So that could be something of interest to you.
And contestants can also participate in the Bearded Beauty show. It's not part of your like you're not judged per se, but it's definitely part of like the weekend, and they just allow anyone who. So
nice.
I've actually not seen it either. I know they do perform.
Yeah, I know that they did performances. I just didn't know to what extent.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Yeah, it's a fun run. If this is something that you are really considering going down, I would look into NAB.
Yeah, totally. I'll have to check it out, and now that I'm part of Bear royalty of Chicago, are
you an A-list bear now?
No, I am still me. I'm not anything like that. So, but yeah, no, and Mr. North American Bear is here in Chicago, so I can talk to him about it and plan to.
Yeah.
So what other bear runs have you gone to, or what other ones do you plan on going to?
So I have never been to a bear run. I know. Blasphemy. I understand.
It's okay. We'll forgive you this time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But my next event is actually Kentucky Leather that I'm going down to for Mr. IML Step Down. So I'm going to go to that. Since I literally just got my title a couple of weeks ago, not a lot is set in stone. That's the only thing set in stone. But also looking at World Bear, going to that. I can't compete since I don't have a state or national title, but I can go. So I'm going to look at that. North American Bear was another one that I was starting to look at to consider going there. Just have to look at when they happen and do I have a show that weekend? And can work let me go. So those are a couple of the ones that I'm starting to look at and hope to have more solidified calendar of where I'm going to go soon.
Well, let's see. I know that there's quite a large Chicago presence at Midwest Bear Fest in Indianapolis in December. Obviously, North American Bear and World Bear. I will be at both. I'm going to be the photographer for World Bear. So if you're there, you'll definitely see me. And as Drew pointed out in our chat, there's this fun little bear run for fun called Drenched Fur. I believe Gary can tell you about that.
I might know something about it.
Little something. Little. You might know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a girl who knows a guy who can. Yeah.
So let's see. Kind of going off topic of being a bear and a title holder. You do bearded drag.
I do.
And your name is Anita John.
That's correct.
As in,
because I need a John.
You need a John. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And you because I checked out your Facebook page for Anita John, and you produce drag shows.
I do. I produced 3 shows in Chicago. Elegant Fur, which I mentioned before, our charity bearded drag troupe. Last night was part of my solo show, solely produced show, Anita John's Drag Up, which usually is also quarterly, and we take movies and use the characters as inspiration for drag. Like our last show back in January was Steel Magnolias. We've done Clue, Addams Family, Drop Dead Gorgeous. So it tends to be a lot of fun. But then started a new show with my sister Alexis Hex, which is the Drag Menagerie that we just started in March. That is all about diversity, and we want every shape, every size, every gender, every style. We want to celebrate all of drag, and we have that next show June 30th, which will be celebrating Pride, of course, since that is the month.
So really quick, how do you feel about Drag Race?
I am mixed about Drag Race. I love it and hate it at the same time. I do love Drag Race. This season and All Stars is so overly produced. I think those producers are just stirring that pot.
Right.
And it's so stupidly apparent that it's starting to drive me crazy. I still watch it though and have a good time.
Okay.
But yeah, you got to chill out and let it be more about the girls and the drag than the drama.
And not their bottom line bank account.
Hello.
Yeah. So, what is it like for you to do bearded drag? How does the drag community accept you? Because I don't know much about sisters of perpetual indulgence and how they're viewed. Like, to me, there's a difference between being a sister and being bearded drag.
100%. When I first started doing drag, so I've been doing it a little over 4 years now. And even in that short time frame, when I first started, bearded drag was still really looked down upon and not real drag. That we were just being lazy, that we didn't want to shave our beards. When that is, at least for those of us that embrace bearded drag as a full style, has nothing to do with it. For me, it's all about the androgyny, that I will wear my foam pads and my H-cup boobs and paint a face but still be bearded. That I like that androgyny, a mix of the genders. And my bearded drag sisters definitely take that on a various scale on how far they go. But it used to really be frowned upon, but now there's been a huge turn in the last couple of years. And especially in Chicago. Chicago is such a mixed bag of drag. You know, we have the pageant queens, we've got monster queens, bearded queens, fishy queens. Like, you can pretty much name any style. Yep. Political queen.
She's off on her own.
Not as far as you think. Chicago definitely likes to push the boundaries and use our platform for political gain and not political gain, that's the wrong way to say it, but to really shed light on different issues. That's not necessarily what I do, but there definitely is those other queens out there. Vixen definitely has a strong voice, and she's not afraid to let you hear it, which I think is a great trait, but it also can be a hard trait for people to accept. But you can name any style, and that's in Chicago. And right now, bearded queens are loved and adored. There's not many of us in Chicago, but enough where we're almost in every show. There's at least one somewhere.
Okay.
So it's definitely been really great to see the acceptance level, because I definitely have been turned down for gigs because I'm bearded, or asked would I shave if I did for a show. But the answer is usually no. This is my character. I have shaved before, but those are different reasons. But no, it's definitely made a turn in the last couple of years, which is fantastic to see.
Good. How does that relate to the bear community?
For me, it's the same principles. That with the bear community all being about body positivity and accepting each other and not fitting into the society molds, the bearded drag community is essentially doing the same thing. A lot of my bearded drag sisters are big girls. I'm not saying all of them. That's not a stylistic bearded thing, but just happens to be a lot of us. And we follow pretty much that same type of mentality. My sister Jerfay, who just competed down in the National Bearded Queen pageant in Arizona, like, she doesn't pad, she doesn't wear falsies on her boobs or anything, and is very much about body positivity. She was part of a show. All go-go dancers were not the traditional looking tight fit dancers. Like, she go-goed. It was hosted by Lucy Stool, who's arguably one of the most well-known bearded queens.
With a name like that.
Hello. But yeah, she started that party for that idea of the body positivity, and we've embraced it, and it was fantastic. And that's how I see definitely that crossover happening. I'm actually doing a number in June 30th for our Pride show for Drag Menagerie, with 4 dancers, but not using traditional dancers, using 4 beautifully hunky bears, which is going to be fantastic. I'm so excited for it.
Great.
Yay.
Oh yeah, I love the big men. I think they need to be displayed more. Body shaming is out and needs to go away, and let's just love the body beautiful.
Is the body.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
All right.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Hold on. I thought I had one. I lost it.
I don't really have a question, but well, actually, I do sort of. John, at one of the bars that you perform at, do you know someone who works the door by the name of Jay?
Of course I know Jay.
Jay and Devin?
I love Jay.
If you could do me a favor and give him a hug and a kiss for me the next time you see him, I would appreciate it.
I sure will.
He comes to the Drench Fur event that I put on, so he has in the past. He didn't make it this year, so but they're really sweet guys, and I see his posts on Facebook all the time about what he does and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I sure will. Jay is fantastic. We miss him.
Aww. Yeah. So I guess my question is, I know you've been doing the bear contest and bear and being very body positive. So when did you find the bear community? Did you, and how has it been since you've joined?
So, excuse me. So when I I haven't even been in the leather community that long either. Probably 4 or 5 years ago, I met a couple, Jeff and Justin, who later turned out that Jeff has become my drag mother, Java Jitters. And I called Justin my leather poppy.
Aww.
Not daddy. That's something totally different. But they've definitely helped me learn more about the kink world and the leather world. And through that, where I'm not strong in that area, in those communities, I feel more of definitely a kinship towards the bears. That I've, with them, learned, met people from Great Lake Bears and more in the bear community, and have really liked what I've seen and who I've met. But like I said, I'm still very much on the outside. I'm not deep in the community yet. And that's why I was excited, like meeting Ms. Illinois Bear, Belladonna, Illinois Bear, Mr. Illinois Bear, my Chicago Bear now, to really learn these people and what it is like to be in the Chicago community, where I'm not part of yet. So I'm definitely in the learning and growing stage, opposed to really being all in it.
So are you from Chicago originally, or did you move here?
I am. I am originally from Crystal Lake. Not that Crystal Lake. Right? That was filmed in another state. But so I've been in the suburbs all my life, and I still live in the suburbs, too far away for my taste, which we're working on. But it's been far enough where I'm not necessarily in the Chicago community. So that's why I don't get to go out as much as I'd like to. And really, like I said, really be within all the bears and all the community. Drag, since most of the time it's a paying gig, I can get out. And that, like, I can literally schedule, be like, okay, here we go, here's my schedule, let's do it. And I've done that, starting to now, for the bear community, to make sure, okay, here are the bear events, this is where I need to be, so I can be more present and get more into the community and represent.
Cool.
So you keep saying, or alluding to the fact that you're not as involved with the bear community as you would like. How long have you been a member of the bear community? I can even back that up even further. How long have you been out?
So out, I officially came out high school. I am 39 now, as of yesterday. And I've always been a big kid, so I've essentially always been a bear, just not necessarily a part of an actual community.
Right. When did you discover that the bear community was a thing, and you accepted it and it accepted you, is kind of where I'm going.
Right. Honestly, I don't know if they've accepted me yet, because they don't know who I am. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I think this weekend was my introduction to the actual community and them of me. Because I definitely, like I said, I knew people in the Great Lake Bears, and had been to some of the events, so I knew some of them. But as a community as a whole, I think this was really my quote-unquote coming out party. To really be a part of the community and now engage as such.
Well, you're incredibly attractive, so it probably won't take much for you for people to take notice.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
True. True. All right. And we make the guy blush just a little bit.
A little bit.
Is that some rouge on your cheeks? Or no, you're blushing. Totally blushing.
makeup from last night.
There you go.
Slow glitter. That's what it
I heard
is.
coconut oil works well for that.
I have heard. Thank you.
Nice.
Well, yeah, if you plan on going to World Bear Weekend, I would be happy to sit down and have dinner with you or meet up, say hello.
Absolutely. That'd be wonderful.
Ta-da. All right.
Well then.
Is that?
So we go from that, looking at talking about a handsome cub who had his coming out party recently. It's like a debutante ball, I suppose.
Nice.
I'm really just stalling before I hit this. What did I have? Sorry. Good morning.
Oh my, hold on. I didn't get it. There we go. I was looking for something else. Hi.
So, looks like a Latino bear just laying on his bed. The framing is just kind of right above where you would see the goods, but you see a whole lot of good stuff. And of course, what's possibly covering part of those goods is probably something that Chester is looking at with the specs of the camera.
Well, I noticed it, but I'm more interested in his tattoo up on his chest.
Yeah.
Oh, just breathe. Oh,
yeah,
and
it says "Just breathe," which I'm going to assume that is the chemical framework, whatever the fuck that's called, for oxygen.
Possibly.
He has a semicolon tattoo, which I know is trendy right now.
I wish it would get bigger. Damn it. Anyway, sorry.
You want to take a closer look?
Yeah, I want to take a closer look because I don't think it's oxygen. I think it's something else, but I can't remember what it is.
Really up close to him.
Chloroform? It'd be way longer.
There's
than
another.
That's kind of the opposite.
Damn it, Dane.
Opposite.
Just get really close. Just breathe. And out.
Yeah, he's handsome. I'd do him.
So do I. Great position. That's me. Damon?
I have picked. This is Luke from Bear Hotel. Bear Hotel is a Tumblr site that has a lot of. They have rooms, and each room is represented by a person, bear, cub, what have you. And this one popped on my feed this week or last week or whatever, and he's quite handsome. And I think on the day it posted, I posted all of all of his because he hits a lot of buttons for me. Very nice looking, tattooed, bearded, bellied, just very, very handsome. Yeah.
Bald.
Yeah, bald head, shaved head. Yeah.
He's like
and he's got tattoo.
Furry or fuzzy furry. If that makes any sense. So it's not like a coat of hair. It's just kind of like fuzz. You can feel it all over his chest and belly and.
Exactly. There you go.
Did I do that one?
Yeah, it's very handsome. Very sexy.
He looks like Brian Harvey from Orlando.
I don't think he's. I don't know.
It's not him. He just. When the picture first popped up, I was like, wow, that looks really similar to Brian. Anyway.
So, yeah.
On the opposite end of North America, this gentleman, the title is called Ditch Your Gitch. and it is apparently shot in outside Toronto, because it says Toronto, Canada, May 2018. And I had to look up what the fuck Gitch was, and I'm gonna say it's Canadian for your underwear, under things. Urban Dictionary says that it's hockey players call all of their underwear Gitch. If it's undershirt, compression pants, shorts, basically everything related to on and off ice training. So that would make sense, being that it's May in Canada. But I picked this, for obvious reasons. It's a well-composed photograph.
Oh, yeah.
The guy in it's very handsome.
Oh, yeah.
Thick, meaty cock. Because we all can't get enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
And John, I believe you're posting to an entire Tumblr.
I am, because speaking of Drop Dead Gorgeous, I misunderstood the assignment.
That's okay.
So, oops, no, I don't want to remove a website. Well, I'll just tell you what it is, and it'll be fine. I could do it. There we go. Thank you. So one of my fetishes is wrestling. Yes, I did wrestle when I was younger, and I love it a lot. And this Tumblr is all about it, and like lots of wedgies and ball grabbing and all that stuff. And it pretty much hits just about every button. And I love it so much.
And remember to pack my singlet for World Bear Weekend.
That's right. That is right.
That.
Yeah, it's great.
Nice. Moving on into the links. One of the things I've been watching recently is something that a good portion of the cast of Critical Role was on a couple weekends ago, which was the Stream of Many Eyes by Dungeons and Dragons. It's kind of their launch party for their annual. It's now kind of like their annual launch party for that year's storyline adventure event. I don't remember what this year's one. Last year it was called the storyline was called Tomb of Annihilation, and they had the Stream of Annihilation. Well, this is a Stream of Many Eyes, so they talk a little bit about the new adventure, and also we have people playing games during it, including I think I mentioned Dread on the show before, where Ivan Van Norman does this kind of like, it's an off-the-table RPG, which means it's almost LARPing. Almost. And he has a few sessions of this off-the-table one, which takes place in Waterdeep, where the storyline takes place. And they actually walk around, they talk to actual people, so they have people they interact with. And and then, of course, there's plenty of actual tabletop games that are played at the same time. And Matt Mercer DMs a Force Grey episode. There's a couple episodes of Dice Camera Action. There's Matt Mercer actually got to play in a game. And we also, the final game was called Jox Machina, which reunited Grog from the Critical Role Campaign 1, who at the end, when they defeated Vecna, they got help from a guy named Archon, who popped in, stole the hand of Vecna, and just popped out of there. And they reunite. So at the beginning, when it's like they first meet, when this sudden thing happens, it's really funny. And also, Jox Machina has a whole bunch of beefy bearded men, and there's one guy is a new guy who's just this giant, beefy man, which pushes all my buttons. And like they talk about his really big hands, and his hands are big and thick. I just want to see the rest of him without any clothes on, but I never get that chance. But oh well. But there's all these games. It's a long playlist on YouTube, but you can take in bits and chunks per video and such, so you can watch some Dungeons and Dragons. I'm still itching for some Dungeons and Dragons game. This man, really am. Anyways, that's mine. Stream of Many Eyes. They're VOD on YouTube. Damon?
Okay, so in a completely different direction. So I saw this actually this morning. It's Broadway Bears, which is a not Broadway BEARS, but BARES, which is a charity organization. And this was just a really fun. It's a strip tease, quote unquote, but it's also kind of kinky, kind of puppy. It's kind of hitting some buttons for me, and it's really a lot of fun. The way it's written, it says, A Broadway Bear strip you, a Studley psychology student, got an unforgettable lesson in Pavlov's dogs when the strapping Josh Drake turned into trainer to a class of obedient male classmates in a drool-worthy dance. In full command of his pack, Drake walked the harness-clad mass of male virility down the runway in a number choreographed by Sidney Eric Wright. So, yeah. So it's fun. Like, a lot of definite, like, pup theme things, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really liked it. And yes, you see, Studley man's butt, and at the end you see a bone, but it's not his bone.
Oh my.
Spoiler alert.
I'm just quickly skipping around the video, and it reminds me of like 1990s Madonna.
Yeah, it's very.
Here, we're gonna put people in leather and make them dance on stage.
Yeah, it's a lot of. I like it. I like it a lot.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch the whole thing, and it looks fun.
It is. Well, you'll see it, and then obviously this is a part of another series, and they do a lot more. And if you watch it on YouTube, you'll see more. So enjoy.
Nice.
Chester.
Okay, so if you remember last week in our pre-show, I was talking about, hey, I see a shaver designed for trimming yourself, for a man to trim theirself.
Uh-huh.
Specifically, their junk.
Uh-huh.
So this is it. It's called Manscaped at manscaped.com. The electric trimmer is called the Lawnmower Electric Hair Trimmer. It's for $40. And my overall arcing question is, how is this different than a normal beard trimmer? Because I'm looking at it and I don't see any real difference. I mean, it still has steel blades at the top with a plastic guard that goes over it. I can do that with a regular beard trimmer. So if any listeners out there have any information on this, like first-hand knowledge of this thing, I want to know about it because I like my boys clean.
Like, why is it considered best for the down there?
Exactly.
What makes it so special? And
I mean, it's a size. It's easier to get down there because of the size versus like a full-fledged trimmer, which is maybe a little bit bigger. Because this looks like it could easily fit in the palm of your hand.
Well,
Smaller and
versus
easy.
Balls.
So there's little things throughout the page that make me want to know more, like prevent nicks with multi-adjustable safety guard. Okay, well, a beard trimmer has that too, but I can tell you right now that if I'm trimming my balls with it and not just, like my pad, I'm gonna nick myself if I'm not super fucking careful. Like, I have to, like, contort my own body into weird-ass yoga positions to make sure that I'm not nicking myself.
Downward-facing ball sack.
Basically. Or things like, for a precise trimming, stainless steel, ultra-sharp, dual-blade shears that minimize tug and pull for increased comfort. Okay.
That sounds dangerous.
I want to know. I need to scour the website because I want to know what their guarantee is. Like, I'll order it, and if they can guarantee I'm not going to cut myself, I'm sold.
I'm wondering if they're thinking. I really think it, because it mentions that it's palm size, non-slit palm size gripped, that they still expect you to like, how when you're trimming up your face, you kind of contort it a little to kind of stretch it out so it's flatter. Maybe they expect you to stretch your ball sack to make sure you're doing more of on a flat thing or something to help, because the ball sack, it's loose skin, so it could get in between the guard, which is what you were talking about. So I think it's because it would be easier to get down there with just something that's just in the size of your hand versus a big old beard trimmer. Because I don't know about you, my beard trimmer, which is still relatively small, still is bigger than what this looks like to be. So.
Well, we'll see.
Somebody test it for science.
Gary?
I just came across this today. It's pretty fucking awesome. It's a huge Lego Batcave in Wayne Manor. It is over 6 feet tall by 5 feet deep, approximately. It's electrified. It's amazeballs. This guy has worked on this thing for years upon years. It has over 100,000 or multiple hundreds of thousands of Legos, and the video is astounding to see, like, all the little spaces that were created, all the characters that are involved. There's crossover characters. The mansion apparently and the Batcave are mostly built off of the Lego movies, but there's homages to every iteration of the Batman, including 6 Batmobiles, I think, that rotate in the Batcave at the very bottom level. It's fucking astounding. I'm just flabbergasted by it.
I am.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at the portion where they're looking at the Batmobiles in the bottom that are spinning, and I'm like, oh, there's the Batmobile from 1999, or was it 99 when that was out? 89. And I was like, oh, look, there's the tumbler. And
there's the one from the animated series.
Wow.
Baines is in there. And
this is so amazing.
Yeah, so it's pretty fucking awesome. So.
Yeah. Oh, I just do not have the patience.
No, this is a big project you really have to kind of focus on, and some of it is design based because this isn't a kit.
Yeah,
you probably did some custom work on it too, that are just not strictly Lego blocks, like they're from Lego blocks, but like it's one of these big ones that he just kind of made a cut out of the bat symbol or something like that. I don't know.
My understanding is that he's used all original Lego pieces that were available in some kit somewhere, but he worked on the design for the whole thing, especially the Gothic design of the manor. I didn't make the link in here, but if anybody has Netflix and has the opportunity to watch The Toys That Made Us, I think is the name of the series.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I just started watching that.
It's 2 seasons, 8 episodes, and I think it's in the 2nd season, is Lego. And it's astounding to know the history of the company in that. And what I think of when I see stuff like this is how the pieces that are used, like it wasn't until, I don't know, sometime relatively recent, I'll put it that way because I don't know the exacts, that all the alternative pieces came available with like surfaces and designs and like stuff like that. And I think that's what's made possible these like crazy opportunities that people could make, like replicas of stuff and that kind of thing. So anyways, I just thought it was pretty awesome to look at. So yeah.
That's great. I've built many large scale Lego sets. The Death Star or the Star Destroyer. That thing weighs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just picking it up, it's like 4 foot long. It's hefty. I can't imagine how much something like this weighs.
Well, there's that.
Don, what do you got?
So, one of my drag numbers that I really wanted to do, because we did a superhero show, I wanted to do Green Lantern, and it had to light up. So I had a friend of mine who does 3D printing and could help with my mask and the emblem and my ring and stuff like that. But I needed more light than that, and I came across Breedwell, which is an LED how do I even say it? It's harnesses and essentially fetish wear that is LED and lights up. So I could get my green harness, and I got, and they have like jocks and armbands and I think that's it. I think harnesses, jocks, and armbands is what they have, but various colors, which I think is awesome. They actually were at IML, which I was kind of surprised this year. And they're very, very cool. I was trying to get to my Green Lantern picture to show y'all, but I'm not finding it fast enough. It turned out awesome, and I was really excited about it. And they were really cool and like corresponded with me about it, so it was awesome. They're fantastic. You should check them out.
They have glow in the dark glow suspenders.
Yeah,
they're expensive, but they glow.
Yes, correct.
I see. Ooh.
I first saw this type of gear on what I thought was Fort Trough, but I'm looking on their site and I don't see it. So now it makes me think it was Mr. S. But I remember when they first put it out there, because what I want to find is a bulldog harness that also has suspender straps, because I like wearing leather suspenders, but I also like having a bulldog harness top. And I've yet to find something that isn't some astronomical price. But anyway, whomever, it was either Mr. S or Fort Trough, they posted it. I emailed them asking, are you guys able to customize these lengths? And they said, yes, we could put together something for you, because all of the straps are, you can mix and match them. But you can't size them. Like, it's a 6-inch strap, and from that 6-inch strap, you can make it shorter, but it's still always going to be a 6-inch strap. So they can, piece things together.
Interesting.
Up to,
I like these.
Apparently the largest, at least for the bulldog harness they have, is for the 2XL, triple XL, it looks like they have, which goes up to 56 inches for the chest.
Good to know. That really sounds really good. It looks really great. Just yeah.
And it's bright.
Yeah. Ah.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
not just some wimpy LED. Like it is bright. They're fantastic. I mean, and the men's on the site are not bad either.
Well, I would like to see some plus size models, but that's just
I
me.
agree. I'm with you.
And I see they have an entire twink collection. But where's the bear collection?
Right.
Don't get me wrong. It's cool, and it looks like that at least they do have the larger sizes for it, but you know, be nice to have examples of the larger size.
Can I get an example? I would like to see what they. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Hey, guess what, folks? That's the end. Oh.
No.
Plenty of ways to contact us. Pop over to our website, cubsoutloud.com. Shoot us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. Shoot us a voicemail, sexy or otherwise, at 361-COL-TALK. That's 361-265-8255. Join us at Telegram in our Telegram chat at tinyurl.com/telegram-COL. There's a couple ways to support us to our Zazzle store, and of course supporting us via Patreon, where if we hit $100 a month, we will have a monthly random giveaway to patrons. So random that we don't even know what we're going to get you until we start rolling for it. You may get a Puce COL V3 t-shirt or hot pink consent is my foreplay puppy shirt or something. So or
it's all random.
Or you may get a magnet. You may get a magnet. Who knows? We'll see. You can find us anywhere in the social medias at Cubs Out Loud, the appropriate place of URL: Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Google+, and of course, right here on YouTube. You can rate us on iTunes, subscribe to us or Google Play Podcasts. Give us a thumbs up on Stitcher Radio. There's plenty of ways to contact me at BoxTap, BoxCub, BoxPuppy, Box something or other.
I am Theater Cub 79 on most Bear, etc. chat sites are on Facebook, or you can find me as pup_Umbra on Twitter.
You can find me under. You can find me on Tumblr or Twitter under the name The Pup Up There, or various bear dating sites across the net under the name Pup Shutter or Cupcake76.
If you would like to get in touch with me, you can pretty much find me anywhere as GareBear73.
And John, where can people find you?
So you can find my boy pages, Twitter, Jon Landvick, LANDVICK. Tumblr is Shy Cub, CHI, Cub79. Facebook, Jon Landvick. Anita's pages, Anita John, JON, on Twitter, or Anita John Drag, I should say, on Twitter, and Instagram, and also Facebook.
And with that, say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a good one, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome. Yay.
Oh, hey, look what I found.
There it is.
That's pretty fucking amazing.
I loved it. It was awesome.
It's a shame your eyes don't light up.
I know. We did talk about putting lights in the mask, and I said, no, I want to see.
So, were you guys not able to hear the outro theme?
We did, but it was really low. That's why I kept talking.
Well, It's
Like,
you were
it was
talking over the
barely
theme
audible.
song. I don't know why it was so low. I don't know. Am I low?
Oh well.
I don't know.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so John, so I have a question. This
Yep.
Thoughts and Shares, which I love the title.
Yep.
Is this a podcast?
It is.
Okay.
It is. It's a podcast all about Chicago drag.
Okay.
And then if there's Dragula or RuPaul, we talk about that episode too. And yeah, I was on it last week.
Well, Oh, so you don't run it?
I don't run it. I was a guest.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because you're talking about the rumored cast list of season 11, and when you brought up that you produce shows, I was going to bring up Nina West because I'm in Columbus. She produces the shows here in Columbus, and I was like, well, I want to talk about it, but I don't want to veer too far off topic. So it's fun. I'm going to download that and listen to it.
It's good. Dakota Conduct, who hosts it, is really, really great.
Dakota Conduct.
That's a fun name.
And I'm gonna stop streaming.